My name is Zach, and I'm a Marine officer. I've been one for 23 years now, and this is Sheila.
I'm Sheila Anthony. We've been married since
Coming up on 10 years.
almost 10 years,
Yeah.
2014.
We met in San Diego, and that's a tough question.
Zach and I met on, what was the site? On
Match.com.
an online dating
Yeah.
platform. And
Didn't know if we wanted to reveal that or not.
no, we'll reveal it because I feel like it gives hope to others. In 2013, I really think like when I see some people say like, oh, I married a Marine or a service member, and they joke about like, you'll get to see the most amazing places in the world. That is one of my favorite parts as a spouse. But it's tough, and I feel like you have to have like thick skin to just roll with the punches and be flexible, which I am not always that way. Things always seem to work out. They have for us. I know for other spouses that I have met, sometimes it's really tough and times can be tough, but I just think it's been a great experience. I think we've been lucky. And blessed. It's been a growth process over the years of being a spouse. We did our first assignment out of the US, and then I started to really feel like, oh gosh, this is Zach and I kind of just faring through life and figuring out how to make things work. What?
I said alone and unafraid.
Alone and
Maybe a little
really
afraid.
a little afraid. We left everything that we knew and everyone that we knew in our community, and it was really like, okay, this is what military life is like.
I had been in San Diego for the previous 8 years also, I think. Yeah, about that. And so pretty stable by military standards. But once we met, we moved like 5 times in the next 5 years, which is not normal, but it was just the nature of kind of the jobs that I was following. So
Zach tried to explain to me many times, especially leading up to his deployment, what I have learned now. I think Zach was trying to say to me at the time, like, this is gonna get tough and we just need to hang in there. But you really don't realize that until you're like 4 or 5 months into a deployment with an infant and a toddler. So
yeah.
it is,
Good luck.
it's been, yes, in true military tradition, we were thrown a curveball and we were no longer going back to San Diego. We were going to Beaufort, South Carolina, where I had never visited, never lived, had no family, friends. And I was pregnant with our second child at the time. So we had her in New York and then moved to Beaufort, and Zach was deploying. So my mom was very supportive. She came for the first month of the deployment, and then she came for the last month of the deployment. But there were 5 months in the center where it was 5 months of like very long days, getting up early in the morning with an infant and then entertaining our oldest. At the time, she was, 3? She was probably 3 years old at the time. So it just felt like when I got them into bed at night, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like this day was never going to end. All in all, I feel like it was literally scratching, like, okay, there's one more day gone. My greatest joy was when I picked up a jug of milk at the supermarket one day, and the date on the jug of milk was after his return date from his deployment, and I was like, oh my God, I'm there, it's on the milk, we're good to go. So it was tough, really tough, but I feel like it is like something that is earned. Like, I feel tougher for it and better for it, and we made it through it, so it was good.
yeah, great job. There's only so much that family can do to support you when you're living hundreds or thousands of miles away. So they visited as much as they could, and we appreciate that. I think it would have been not a big deal if it was just you and me, but when you add in like having kids for the first time or multiple kids and your significant other is gone, it becomes a huge difference And something that I think we both had wished, man, wouldn't it be nice if we lived right next to our parents, either one of our parents, like to just have an easy babysitter on hand.
Or just come
Yeah.
and sit and have a cup of tea with us
Yeah.
and like chat and just let our hair down, because it's tough.
I didn't expect to feel different about what I was doing for my job until I had kids and deploying with and leaving kids behind. A few different feelings. I felt the risk that I was exposed to more. Starting a family and having kids at that period in my career, which was like 12 or 13 years already in, that those years after that point are much different than the first 13. And then I also felt a degree of guilt knowing what she was having to do while I was gone weighed on me a lot more than I expected, I guess.
I think now, as our children are getting older, it is very impactful, the decisions that we make to either choose to better Zach's career and allow him to excel. And just summarizing my thoughts on military spouses, they're like an interesting mix of these beautiful men and women. As much as you would find interesting service members, there's this cool, just blend of all types of people.
Just in general, how supportive the country is of the folks that serve, that makes a big difference. It is a pleasure to serve. It's a great job, and it's even greater when you have somebody who can support you along the way, even though I know it's been very hard for you.